you so much for doing this. We really appreciate you taking the time to come and share. And yes, I'm going to step up my game and, I'm going to learn from you as soon as I get those current slides so I can help a brother out and be able to share this message as well. I know it's time to cut the apron strings, but you do it so well. So this brother is really a phenomenal man. He's my mentor. He's my friend and a person that's been doing this energy business for over a decade and been very successful doing it. He's worked for some of the largest companies in the world, like Disney and PayPal, to name a few. He's an entrepreneur. He's a businessman, successful businessman in his own right. And he has really made a phenomenal impact on this energy business. He's going to be doing an extraordinary job expanding this business and expanding his team, sharing this message and sharing the wealth with others. So please be receptive to what Mr. Weems has to say to you. I present to you Mr. Julius Weems. Take it away.
Well, thank you, Linda Washington, and to everybody on tonight, to everybody launching. Miss Beverly, Miss Alice Green. I got a whole story that I'm going to share with you. Can you hear me okay, Linda, or am I choppy?
I can hear you. Your
Okay.
video is a little choppy, but it's okay. It's important what you say, and we can hear you fine.
Okay, because I want to make sure we got a good connection. I just literally walked in the door here in Florida, so I'm going to switch over to my phone my settings on my phone, my hotspot. So I don't want any part of the presentation to not be clear tonight. So let me just make sure I dot my I's and cross my T's and make sure this works the way I need it to work. And so give. All right. How is that, Linda?
Perfect.
All right, there we go. Well, I'm excited to be here tonight. We are not going to hold you long. I get to share something that was shared with me just over 18 months ago, but I've known about this industry for over 10 years. But I got on a call. Linda said she had shared the business with someone, and her name was Alice Green. And I got on the phone with Miss Green, Sister Green, and we started talking. And the first thing she said to me, she says, "Do you know Annie?" And I said, "Well, that's my mother." And those of you have heard me speak and share, that my mother was a pastor in Baltimore. I have 9 pastors in my family. And you know how when, my mother passed in 2020, and you know how when, and I'm a mama's boy, y'all. I just want y'all to know that. So, but I told her, I said it was so nice to hear my mother's name. And one thing I love about this business, outside of everything, we're going to talk about what we can do to help people. We're going to talk about what we can do to really impact people's lives right now, today, because there are a lot of people struggling right now that need what we're going to share tonight. But it was so refreshing for her her and I to talk. But like she said, when she joined the call, she's visually impaired. But she is here, and she's like, I can share this with people. We talked on the phone for a little bit, and when I tell you, Sister Green is clear without a doubt that she is not slowing down, and I have so much respect for her. So when people tell me the reasons why they can't, she reminds me so much of my mother. This is, pretty much there's no reason I can't. And Sister Green, I just want you to know that from the time we talked on the phone, you have been on my mind. I just want to say I'm so happy that you're in the business with me. And like I told you, I got to make sure that you're successful, because my mother would expect nothing less of me. So welcome to the call. I'm excited to be here with you today. And so everybody, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about something that all of you know about, but may not understand things that are happening right now. Because we're at a time right now where there's a lot of shifts happening. And so I'm going to take 20 minutes to share something with you that everyone on this call wants to know about, because as of June the 1st, almost 90% of the country just got hit with a larger energy bill, got hit with larger costs, and there's just a lot going on. And so what I want to say is, for the next 20 minutes, just be objective. I do not have a sales pitch for you at the end of this. I do not have some fancy words. I'm just going to talk to you about just like I would any of my friends, because there's a lot of things changing right now in the energy industry, but all around us. We're hearing words like artificial intelligence. We're hearing words like automation. We're hearing words like blockchain and all these new technologies and new ways to do things. But there's one thing that's not new. It's the fact that our electricity needs to come on. It needs to come on time when we hit the switch, and we need to be able to make sure that it is not too expensive for us. And if you agree with that, go ahead and put a one in the chat. But one of the things I'm going to walk you through is why we're having this conversation tonight. Linda shared a little bit. My name is Julius Weems. I grew up in a little town called Baltimore, Maryland, in the Murphy Homes projects in downtown Baltimore. I went to Morgan State University. I left. My mother would have loved for me to be a pastor. I told her I was going to go and be a pastor in corporate America, and I have been able to advise some of the largest companies around the world. It's been an honor. I told her, I said, I want to speak into the lives of billionaires, and it's been something that I laugh about even as I do the things I do. But my passion is truly helping people see how to grow themselves, grow businesses, and that has been my heartbeat for the last 20 years. And so tonight I get to share something with you that I'm passionate about because I know I can have real impact. And so tonight we're going to rethink energy. Like we're going to truly rethink this thing called energy, because all of us, I see some folks here that are young on call, that are seasoned on call, but we've all been paying an electric bill, and we've all heard about different things. Some things that have not been healthy, some things that have hurt us when it comes to energy. Our bills went up. But there's something happening right now that has not happened in history. And so what I'm going to ask is that you take a minute, and as I go through this presentation tonight, that you just give yourself a little bit of space to hear something different and just take it all in. Is that fair? Can everybody do that for me? Because what I've learned is that sometimes we're all set in our own ways and how we see things. But sometimes being set in our ways, we sometimes miss something that can be a blessing to us. And so tonight, I just want to share something that I know can be a blessing to you, because I know that we all are paying too much for electricity and natural gas. And so the core values of our company are very simple. It is, how do we empower people to have choice, transparency, and sustainability? Now, we're going to talk about sustainability because right now you guys are all hearing about, cheaper energy, if it's solar, if it's wind, and, but, there's 144 million residences or homes, places people live in the United States. And let me just go ahead and make sure we meet everybody out. There's 144 million places that people live in the United States, okay? And so of that 144 million, that's apartments, that's townhomes, that's single family homes, that's trailers, any place that can get an electric bill. We have 144 million of them in the country, but only 10% of them can get renewable, sustainable energy that's cheap. So only 10% of that, there's still 130 million people that have to pay for energy as we do today. And so our vision is that, how do we make clean energy simple, accessible, and affordable for everyone? So tonight I'm just going to talk about three things. These three things, 90% of you have never heard of. You've never had this option. This has never been available to you. But 2 years ago, and in Washington, D.C., they wanted to try to find out one thing. How do we lower the cost of energy for the majority of the country? How do we find a way to get cheaper energy to everybody, not just somebody who can finance solar panels on the top of their home? What about the other 130 million people? And so the federal government created a program called Community Solar. Then they began to roll it out to the different states. And the reason it exists is that the National Community Solar Partnership with the Department of Energy and the Inflation Reduction Act, which was a $7.9 billion investment. The goal was to help people all across the country to access solar energy without solar panels on their homes or roofs. And so solar energy is cheaper. We know that it's more affordable than the natural gas, coal, and oil that produces our energy today. The thing is that if you live in certain places, you just can't get it. If you can't do a credit check, if you don't have a home, if you don't, you can rent a home, but if you rent a home, you can't get solar energy. So the problem was simple. How do we solve this for millions and millions of people? And so the Inflation Reduction Act went to each state. Each state then went and got their money from this program, and they began launching community solar across the United States. I am going to use Maryland as an example tonight. I know we have folks from Maryland on, because Maryland's one of the most aggressive states to roll community solar. In the state of Maryland, you actually see solar farms all over the state. Solar farms generate energy. There's 65 solar farm projects that are massive across the state. That energy on the solar farm is going to the local grid of BG&E and Pepco. And now you and I have the ability to subscribe to get access to that solar energy. Think of it this way, is that there's a solar farm somewhere within 50 miles of where you live, and that solar has these massive commercial solar panels. Those solar panels all have squares on them. Imagine that for you, once you subscribe, two of the squares on one of those panels is tagged with your name. It is yours, and it is yours for the next 20 years. So the energy that comes off of those solar panels actually is sent to you every single month, but it's sent to you at a cheaper price. So here's how it works. And the reason that I share this, and I'm sharing it across the country, those of you know that I'm sharing it with nonprofits and churches and organizations and everyday people like you, because right now, in most states that community solar is rolled out, here's what you get. And this is not from a company. Think Plus is just a educator of this program, but this is a state-run program that we just are now educating people about. Now, how does it work? It is a guaranteed savings for 20 years. Okay. And where does that guarantee come from? It comes from the fact that I'll say in Maryland, in Annapolis, where we pass our laws, we passed a bill, Bill 8098, that is our community solar bill in the state. It guarantees a savings for 20 years. There's no rooftop required. It's free to enroll. You can cancel at any time, and even renters qualify. Now, the savings is between 5 and 25%, depending on the state you're in. Now, in Maryland, it's 10% for those of you who are not low to moderate income, and it's 25% if you already get a state benefit, like Section 8 or Medicaid. Here are the states right now that are actually active with community solar. These are the states that have taken their portion of the $7.9 billion, and they said, we're going to roll out programs. So you can see the states that are active. They've rolled out their laws. They've set up their solar farms. They are now allowing their residents to subscribe to solar farms. These are the states that are pending legislation. Ohio, Michigan, Pennsylvania passed their legislation just about a month ago. California, Wisconsin, and Washington State, they are coming very soon in the next year. Then you have New Mexico, Oregon, and Delaware rolling out their programs as well. But we're going to see the whole country roll out community solar programs. Now, remember, if you're taking notes, when I say community solar, it means you're getting solar energy through a subscription, not because you have to put a solar panel on your roof. Okay. Now, 5 million is a significant number, because the Department of Energy and the federal government said for every 5 million people we introduce to community solar, it saves the country $1 billion on energy costs that we buy energy and natural gas and oil from other countries. So it allows us to, 5 million is not a big number when we're talking about 130 million. But now they've increased that number to 15 million by the end of 2027. Being able to help 15 million people get onto community solar farms doesn't even put a dent in the amount of people that are paying energy costs that are just too high. Now, in Maryland, on June 1st, everybody that lives in the state of Maryland got an increase to their bill of 15 to 20%, depending on if you're in Pepco or BG&E, and that's just across the board. There's no other way to save on your energy bill in the state right now. And so we're excited that community solar exists in Maryland, but in New Jersey, it's a 20% savings for 20 years. In Washington, D.C., 10% for 20 years. So this program is a program that if you live here, you should sign up for, because Again, it is free to enroll and there is no contract or termination fee. The second thing I'm going to talk to you about is retail electricity. So if you're making boxes, number one, put community solar. It's a guaranteed discount every single month for the next 20 years. Okay. And a lot of people are sitting there. When I heard it the first time, I almost had to hear it 10 times. I'm like, well, what do you mean it's guaranteed? Or what do you mean that it's for 20 years? I want you to understand that community solar is something that is out here to help families. It is available. But yes, our goal is simple, is to educate people, because there's so many people that don't know about it, don't believe it's true, or don't even know how to sign up. And so we're going to show you all that tonight. But number two is electricity. We are a retail electricity provider. Now, many of you over the last 10 years may have heard of this. You had somebody come to your home, promise you a cheaper rate. You signed up with a company, and when you signed up with that company, after about 6 months, your bill went through the roof, right? Because they ended up with a variable rate and all kinds of crazy things happened. Well, Maryland is the first state in the country where there are no third parties. Now, all other 50 states are now allow you to be able to be an electricity provider. But in Maryland, community solar is the only savings program that's allowed in the state. So we want everybody that's in Maryland right now, if you're on this call, make sure you get signed up for it. We already know that June 1st, your bill went up. So let's do that. Now, let's talk about retail electricity, though, in all the other states, because one of the things about retail electricity, the challenge was somebody would come to your house, they would tell you a rate. They would say, you're paying this, we're going to let you pay this. Well, when I looked at this company 18 months ago and I went to Connecticut to talk to the ownership, the first thing I said was that you can't have variable rates. You know, my family lives in Catonsville, Maryland, and you know, I remember when I actually introduced energy and savings to them. One thing I know is that with my family or any of your families, you can't go to them and share something and then their bill goes up. So our company only offers fixed rates, and we're launching something this month that has never been done in history before, which I'm so excited about, that I've been calling everybody I know, because the energy industry has just never had a way for somebody to always save. So in retail electricity for our company, we offer a few benefits. Free energy program, which I'm going to share with you next. $100 gift card off of your energy, cash gift card once you've been with us for 6 months. We use 100% clean energy. And in 2024, we had a program called where we protected trees, 5 million trees. For every customer, we protect 50 trees. Now, that program was great. We impacted a lot of people, but we wanted to do something that was more impactful. And so we started Think Local. Think Local is a program that allows us to invest in communities. So we've done some investment in nonprofit campaigns in Prince George's County, Maryland. We've done some investment in New York and New Jersey. We've done investment in Ohio and Chicago. But all it is that when customers sign up for our company as a customer, we take $10 and we put into what we call community cash, where we can now give back into the communities where our customers come from. And so this is a big part of our energy program, but I want to share something with you that will show you what our next step is, because we felt like, yes, we could be a retail energy provider, but we needed something that was going to truly impact people deeper. And so if you look here, is that currently in our retail energy markets have over 40 million potential customers. Here are the states that are currently open, and you'll continue to see the other states open shortly. What I'm going to share with you right now is I'm going to share with you a program that we've launched at the beginning of this month. It will be launching across the country, but it is a proprietary program that after I share this with you, what we'll do is we'll have a quick conversation. Hold on for 1 second.
Okay. Oh, good, partner. How you doing, man?
You want to pay?
Welcome to AutoSave, the easiest way to save money on electricity automatically. No more shopping around, no fees, no risk, just long-term savings. Everyone uses energy differently, yet most people pay the same price. At Think Energy, we believe you should be rewarded for being a smart energy user. With AutoSave, your energy rate is personalized just for you. Here's how it works. You sign up for AutoSave. We calculate a personalized energy rate based on your home or small business electricity usage patterns. Then, we compare your personalized rate to the utility's standard service rate. If we can save you money, we do. If not, you're with the utility until we can. And as you can see, over time, your savings can really add up. Whenever there's an opportunity to save, it'll happen. All upside, with the peace of mind of the utility's standard rate as your safety net. Simple, risk-free, and automatic. And you'll always know what's happening. We actively monitor your savings potential and notify you when your energy supply changes. Still the same utility, still the same bill. Just long-term savings, with no interruption to your service. AutoSave is all upside, and you'll have peace of mind knowing that you'll never pay more than your utility's standard rate. That's AutoSave, an energy rate personalized just for you. No fees, no stress, no risk, just long-term savings, automatically.
And so AutoSave is a proprietary program that is the first of its kind in the United States. Our company wanted to find a way to make sure that someone could always guarantee that they would be paying the cheapest rate between the utility and us. So for example, if you live in New Jersey, or if you live in one of our states for retail electricity, if your utility is, for example, PSE&G is in New Jersey, if PSE&G's rate is more expensive this month and Think Energy's rate is cheaper, AutoSave will automatically switch you to Think. But let's just say PSE&G's rate becomes cheaper in 2 or 3 months. It'll automatically switch you back to the utility. AutoSave does something that we've never seen before. It automatically makes sure and guarantees that the customer is paying the cheapest rate. And then every time they switch, it'll send them a text message to let them know that they've been moved to the lowest rate. Think Energy, our CEO understood one thing when he started our company. With a $100 million investment, he knew he had to create something that was innovative and was going to change the industry. And AutoSave is going to be that. So imagine never thinking about your energy cost again, forever. It's almost like Amazon Prime, right? So when you think about Amazon Prime, you pay for Amazon Prime so you don't have to think about shipping, and you can just buy as much as you want, right? So AutoSave is the biggest innovation in the energy industry that we've ever seen. We've been written up in a few energy articles, but over the next few months, you're going to hear more and more about Think Plus and AutoSave, because AutoSave, for the first time, I can come to you, I can come to your family, I can come into your church, I can come into your nonprofit, and we can make sure that everybody benefits. And that is the most exciting thing that I have ever been able to do or say when it comes to impacting people's lives. And it's so important to me because, when I was growing up, and Sister Green knows the church that my mother attended, one of the biggest requests in churches is help with rent and utilities, and then food. And so now to be able to go into a city and truly be able to impact people's lives and know that it's going to last forever is phenomenal. And so AutoSave is one of the new launches in June that we launched. I do want to talk about also specifically in Texas, because Texas is the largest energy market. I'll go back to my map. Texas is the largest energy market in the country, largest deregulated energy market, and also it is the 6th largest consumer of energy in the world. And so many of you who are in Texas know that even energy works different in Texas, where we are a retailer, where it's the only state where somebody will get a bill that says Think Energy versus their utility. It's the only state where people are competing all the time for the cheapest rate because energy prices are so high. We knew we needed to go into Texas and be competitive. So today, out of 116 providers in Texas, we are number 2. Now, to become number 1, you got to do some things that are truly innovative. So we're using technology like AI and automation so that if someone connects their thermostat to their Think Energy account, we're going to automatically give them an extra $10 a month off, another $120 a year just off their bill. But we know over time we're going to be able to increase that because we're using data and technology in order to increase our savings there. Our rates are incredible. So in Texas, if you're in Texas, you have friends or family in Texas, definitely with the summer hitting there, it is a great time to come to Think Plus. So as I close out the customer side of our presentation, the customer side is very simple, but the last piece is our free energy club. Our free energy club is really the foundation of after we help people with community solar. Community solar is a guaranteed program by getting a coupon every month. Number two, retail energy with auto save, automatic savings every month. The free energy means if you share it with someone, if you want to help somebody, when you help 3 people, we're going to take an additional 10% off your bill every month. You help people one time, and we give you 10% every month. You help refer it to 10 customers, we're going to give you 40% off your bill every single month. And you refer it to 20 customers, we're going to pay all of your bill up to $2,000 per year. And people say, well, up to $2,000? Well, up to $2,000 is what we can give you as a gift so that it is not a taxable event. So up to $2,000, we are giving back to people. We've given out over $165,000 back to customers who have actually referred customers to the Free Energy Club. And so with that is the end of the customer portion of our presentation. So the reason I came back to this industry, I've been consulting for a very long time, but the reason I came back was community solar and autosave. I knew that if I could impact people's lives and truly help them on this bill long term, this is a major bill that they're going to pay forever. I've been paying mine since I was 18 at my first apartment in Morgan State University. And what I knew is that if I could have real impact long term, a customer will stay. But I also did understand it was going to be an incredible, very lucrative business. And so our CEO said this. He says, if done right, with laser focus on products that are great for the customer and a community that attracts world-class entrepreneurs, the network marketing industry is a perfect vehicle for positive change. Now, when you say the word network marketing, it has a negative connotation to it. I'm an engineer by education, and I used to, when someone said network marketing to me, I would say, oh, it's a pyramid. It's one of those pyramid things, and I don't do that. I went to school not to be involved in those, and very negative connotation. But then when I began to look at energy, and I said, okay, well, people are going to pay for electricity. Now, we could go and hire a company and a sales team and everything else, and we can go ahead and help people that way. But when we're talking about a company that does it right, all we're talking about is a product that people are going to use every month, not a product they have to buy, nothing they have to put in their garage. They don't have to have an auto ship. What I realized is that we can have real impact. And so what our company has done is that we have put around our energy impact and what we do in our products, and we're paying it out in a direct sales model because it just works better. We have an incredible platform. I shared with you our products, our community. You'll learn more about that in a moment. But in our community, I got to meet somebody named Alice Green that knew my mother, which has blessed my life. So, and then there's the opportunity that I'll share with you. Now, we don't want to surprise you. Like, our goal is not to say, oh, at the end, ta-da, here's an incredible big price, right? It's $59 a year to sign up as an energy affiliate with our company. It is free to be a customer, but it's $59 a year. $59 a year, there's no monthly cost, there's no monthly amount for your websites. For $59 a year, less than about $4 a month, you get 2 websites set up for you to share with people. You have a mobile app that's free for you to download. You have a back office that's available to track everything in your business. You have a marketing center that creates flyers with your QR codes, your websites, and everything automatically for you. So we have everything ready for you for less than $4 a month. If that is not exciting, I don't know what is, because if you can go help somebody get paid on it and it only costs you $4 a month, $59 a year, how major is that for you? And so after a year, your renewal is $149, but by then you would have done extreme. I say if by then you haven't done more than $59, the person that sponsored you needs to give you your money back. But let me show you how we get paid quickly, and then we can end on that. So there's going to be some tables here, and I know sometimes when they get into complex tables on some of these presentations, one of the things I realize is that sometimes you can lose people. So we're just going to have kind of a fireside chat about money, okay? So I'm going to keep it really clear. The first way you get paid is when someone signs up to be a customer. So it's a one-time bonus. If any of you call me and say, hey, Julius, I just heard about this program where you can save on your energy for 20 years. I want you to take a look at it. I look at it. When I sign up, if I sign up for electricity, you're going to get a $20 bonus the following Friday I sign up. If I sign up for electricity and community solar, you're going to get $30 to $50. So you're going to get a total of, let's say, $70 for me signing up to save, right? So you're going to get that next Friday. So potentially one customer will get your $59 back, okay? And then you're going to make residual on my account every single month, okay? You're going to make residual on my account every single month on electricity until I stop paying for electricity, okay? On community solar for 5 years. So you've called me, I'm your friend. I need to save. I live in New Jersey. I'm in Florida right now, but I live in New Jersey, and you called me and told me I could save in New Jersey 20% for 20 years. And I signed up with you, and it took you about 5 minutes to share this with me. You'll make $70 next Friday. You get a little check in the mail to go get a bite to eat or fill up your car. And then what you're going to do is you're going to do that 2 or 3 more times, right? So you're going to share it with a couple of people that need to save. You don't have anything to sell. So all you're doing is sharing with people that need to save on their bill. But level 1 and level 2 just means that the person that shared this with you, when you sign me up as a customer, you're going to get $20 and they're going to get 10. You're going to get $50, they're going to get 25. Okay? So for helping somebody and introducing the business, yes, there's profit. When a customer signs up in any business, anywhere in the world, there's profit made. So what our company does is divide that profit between the person that signed them up, the person that's going to show them how to launch their business, and the person that showed that person. And so that is called how you building a community and a team where everybody wins. Okay. So that's the first way you get paid. We call this weekly money. This is right now. If you go and sign up 10 customers, $20 and $50, you made $700. And that is what our goal is to help people, and then you benefit financially. So we have a simple system called 535 that we want you to accomplish in your first 30 days. So we want you to acquire 5 customers, 5 personal customers, 5 people that you can call that you want to help. The first person you should want to help is yourself. So you're going to be your own customer. So you're going to sign up as your own customer, and you're going to get paid on your own account, okay? You're going to then share with 3 people like we are tonight with this launch. You're going to let them come and look. We're not here to sell or convince or drive people crazy or destroy our friendships. We want people to just take a look. And some are going to say, well, I don't want to be your customer. I'd rather be my own. And they're going to become energy advisors. And then they're going to put 5 customers in. In that first 30 days, you're going to make $450 to $825. Now, I always say you never let the company's minimum be your maximum. So for somebody, I was on a call yesterday with Miss India Brown, and she said to me, she says, 30 days. She says, I got to wait 30 days to do that. And so we said no. So we're launching her business, but no, you don't have to wait 30 days. But our goal is that if you spend 59, we want you to be able to make 59 back. But in the first 30 days, if you do this, you'll make $450 to $825 back. Now, the next way we get paid is a rank and promotion bonus. All this means is that when you hit a requirement of customers, we only pay people on customers and then their team getting customers. There's no money paid for somebody coming into our business, okay? So when you go and you begin to help people save on their bill, now imagine this. Imagine you put in 5 customers and then you introduce it to 3 people and they put in 5 customers. You're automatically going to promote and you're going to get an extra $200 bonus. Now, there's $85,000 in promotion bonuses and they don't go away. Whenever you hit these ranks, you're going to get the bonus, okay? I know at the end of the year, many of you go for annual reviews at your jobs, right? At the end of the year, they do an annual review, and then there's a manager that decides if you did what you were supposed to get your bonus. Well, for us, we just believe if you hit the requirement, you deserve to get it. So there's $85,000 available. These are one-time bonuses every time you hit a different level in the business. The last 2 ways I'm going to share with you before we close out are the reasons why me and my wife decided to really give energy to this. We have friends that are in many types of businesses. We have supported them in every way. But we've also understood one thing, that residual income to us is when an activity happens one time, but it will pay you over and over and over again. We've been blessed to be able to be in the energy industry before with a previous company, and we got to see what it meant to be paid for 10 years on people paying for electricity. And we believe with Think Plus and community solar and retail energy and autosave that there's going to be people that get paid for way longer than that. But we knew that as people pay for electricity, and if we could allow them to save, they will never leave as a customer. So if you look at this model, this is 535, 5 customers, 3 advisors. That's 15, all the way down to 10 levels. Let's just say everybody at 535, 535, 535, the 10 levels in a perfect world. We know the world's not perfect, right? Electricity bands, we get paid from band 1 to band 7. Band 1 being a small apartment. So that this is saying everybody lives in a small apartment. And what would happen is that you would get paid on every one of those customers every single month. Month after month, there will be a level payout of that. And then the cumulative payout that you would make is here in this column here. So if we go here down at level 7 in residual income, you're doing about $10,000 a month. Okay, so, and let's go up. The average home needs between $4,000 to $8,000 to not have to work. So that means if $4,000 to $8,000 came into someone's home every month because they signed up a customer one time, more than 50% of the country would not have to go to work, okay? Now, on level 8, when you get to partner, that's $35,000 a month, and these are just customers paying their bill. They're not calling you every month. You don't have to remind them to pay it. They don't have to place an order. You don't need volume. You don't need any of that. And so therefore, by helping customers and helping your team members get customers, you're now getting a check every single month. Now, if you do 535 to 10 levels perfectly, it would be $500,000 that's paid $576,000 paid every month. Now, my mentor in my previous company did $1 million a month. I couldn't believe it. It didn't even calculate to me the fact that I'm talking to him, I'm seeing him do it. He lived in Dallas and he didn't have community solar. He did not have autosave. And I watched him earn $1 million a month on people paying for electricity. And what I realized, and he said to me, Julius, the challenge is that when you look at your first residual check, when you first start this business, that residual check is going to be small. I remember my first residual check was $24. And when I remember seeing it grow, we saw it pay the mortgage when I had a home in Maryland by Arundel Mills and built a home there. And I said, well, let me just see if it could keep paying bills. And we kept adding on. It was the mortgage, it was the car insurance, everybody talks about, super, $50,000, $100,000 a month. I say, hey, look, if this little energy side business could just pay the bills while I'm still working, it's going to be give me freedom that I've never seen before. And I watched that business do it, earning 5 figures a month for over 10 years. And I don't tell you that to brag. I tell you that because what I realize is that most people will not have the delayed gratification for what it means to make residual income. But I'm older now, and I don't have a lot of time to play around, and a lot of you don't. So, people say, how long does it take to build this? I'm going to tell you, 600 days part-time, you can build this business to a significant residual income. But the last reason why we joined is because most of you have worked for companies where the executives get an executive bonus every year, right? The executives have their executive bonuses where the most employees in companies don't. Well, our CEO created something called a partner pool, which I thought is genius. When you hit the level of partner, it's the top 3 levels in the company. You hit the level of partner, you earn a 1% share in every customer in the company in a pool that's created. What that means is every customer in the company, there's a percentage of profit that's put into a pool every month. And as a partner or above, you get an additional check every month for that share. Now imagine this. My sponsor is a partner. We have 2 people at regional partner in the company. We have one person at senior partner, okay? So I want to be clear that our company is 18 months old. There's not 50 million people here. But I want you to understand that when you hit partner, you may hit partner in the next 24 months. And the company's at 200,000 customers. Let's say the whole company is. But what happens if you don't do anything else? Like you go partner and you stop. You say, I'm done. Julius, Sister Green says, Julius, I'm done. I'm going to relax. I got the partner. And Sister Green doesn't do anything else, but the company keeps growing. And it goes from 200,000 customers to 300,000 to 400,000. Sister Green's getting a check every month on every customer in the company. So when I talk about true retirement, true business that you can legacy money, right? That is what we're building here. This is why I'm looking at the company. People always say, well, Julius, what if they sell the company? What if they do this? Well, Michael Falquist, who me and him spend a lot of time, I'm never saying that a CEO will not sell his company. My previous company sold for $1 billion. They paid us on residuals for another 10 years after they sold. But here's what I'll tell you is that if you get to the point where you are at partner and you're making a residual income and you're making a weekly income, there are options for you to be able to make sure that you are taken care of for the rest of your life. And so that is what I'm excited about. So getting to the revenue share pool is a huge part of the business. We get paid 9 ways. I shared 4 of them with you. And as I close out tonight, I'm going to share this with you. We are a community that is truly, we have some incredible leaders. I'm looking here just on this. I look at Linda Washington out of Atlanta. I look at Amanda Carlson, Booth Carlson out of Maryland, Upper Marlboro, Maryland. I look at Miss Ardon, Claudia out of Austin, Paul Randall. Hoping that things happen. When I talk to Alice Green, the fact that she's visually impaired, but when I tell you this is a woman that has clear focus, she knows exactly what she's here to do. And the fact that she's launching her business with no excuse, I have so much respect for her. And for so many of you who are launching your business, and those of you here who are guests of the people launching, I want you to understand that they're not asking you for any money. They're asking you to save on a bill you're going to pay for the rest of your life. They're asking you to be a part of something that is not about them. It's truly about you having impact. So if you're here tonight and you say, hey, look, my guest asked me to come, I'm signing up with them. They'll get with them after this call. They'll get you set up. They'll get you signed up and you'll be ready to go. If you're somebody that has questions and you want to get those questions answered, we're going to stay on and we're going to answer those questions. And because my thing is that I don't want you to leave without a clear understanding. And if you're somebody that says, hey, Julius, this is not for me. This is just not for me. My friend Linda invited me, but this is not for me. What I'm going to ask you to do as a favor to your friend is to be their customer. And then the other thing I'm going to ask is, if you know anybody that would love to earn a residual income on people paying for a bill that they will pay for the rest of their life, refer that person to the person that invited you. It doesn't take a lot to help somebody that cared enough to just have you come and take a look. So I want to thank everybody for joining tonight. Thank you so much for taking your time. The one thing I can't give you your time back, but I hope you learned something that was valuable here tonight. I hope you learned something that maybe you didn't know. But when you look at your electric bill, I want you to think about this night, because there are ways for you to save on a bill that you will pay forever. And so with that, I'm going to go ahead and pause. I want to thank all of our folks launching. Miss Beverly, I saw Miss Beverly coming in and out as well. And I saw Miss Ardone come in. Linda, why don't you, I'm going to thank all of our folks for launching tonight. Linda, you want to go ahead and close us out? And then if there's any questions, I'm happy to answer them.
Yeah, there are some questions in the chat that I would like to address. The first one is, how do you explain dual billing where the customer has to buy a credit? It requires a credit card.
No, that's a great question. So that's not in all states, right? So let's talk about what that is. So dual billing and unified billing are the 2 ways. If this for community solar, when someone is on a community solar farm, and right now, if a state is brand new, right, a state has not been in community solar for a long time, like Maryland. In Maryland, what happens is the state hires solar developers. Those solar developers go and build a solar farm. And then those developers have to fill that farm up. And then they take care of the billing until the state comes in and says, hey, we're going to connect the solar farm and the billing with your utility company like BG&E and Pepco. Well, Maryland's in the process of finalizing that. But until then, remember the solar developer is not BG&E. They're not Pepco. They don't have billing systems to set up all these. So what they have to do is that when you go to get onto that solar farm, when you go to reserve your spot, right? It's almost like when you go to check into it, when you reserve a hotel or a rental car, they want you to put a card on file, a debit card or a credit card to secure that spot. And that is what dual billing is. And, a lot of people say, well, why would somebody do that? Well, they're going to do it because they get a discount on their energy for 25 years. So they're getting it's almost like if they were to go to CVS, let's say in Maryland, I'll use Maryland. So let's just say you get your BG&E bill in Maryland and it's $200, but you could go to CVS and get a gift card that would give you 10% off. That was $180. Would you not pay the $180 to get that? And so dual billing is just the way that we reserve the spot on the solar farm for those credits. The state of Maryland has announced they're going to unified billing like New Jersey, where in New Jersey, you just need your bill. And then what they do is the solar developer and the utilities are locked together based on how the state set it up. Maryland is almost there. They're going to be there before the end of the year. We are hoping we see that in the next 30 days, but I don't want to step out there because I know my folks in Maryland are very excited about unified billing. But that's the difference between the two. And most states that are just launching their community solar programs have dual billing. And then the states then, as they get their systems in place, they go to unified billing where that debit card or credit card is not needed.
Okay, there is another one. Why does the customer have to pay for credit before it goes on the bill? This seems like I am paying one company to make it look like I'm paying less on the other bill. Please explain.
No, that's a great question, but that's not accurate. So let's be clear. So let's just say that your BG&E or Pepco bill is $200. Okay. When someone signs up for community solar, we upload a copy of their bill. And so what it does is it says, okay, based on how much energy that somebody uses. So if I use 1,000 kilowatts a month, that solar farm is going to produce 1,000 kilowatts a month for me. Okay. Now, if I paid BG&E, and this is a training because we have a great sample of a BG&E bill and a solar bill, community solar bill. But the key is that if my bill's $200 for that 1,000 kilowatts and I didn't have community solar, I would pay BG&E $200, and a portion of that would be delivery and everything else. Well, with community solar, your BG&E bill is going to go down to nothing but like maybe $20. But your solar farm, your solar credit that 1,000 kilowatts, instead of paying $200, you're going to pay $180. So you're not paying two bills, and you don't pay it before you're not paying it before you use the electricity. It's the same as you're using electricity now. You're going to use electricity and you now get credits, but those credits are cheaper because the solar energy is cheaper. And so that is how community solar works. And for those, I think if you're an advisor, I'll send you, we have an incredible video that goes over it and shows a bill. It shows you like what the BG&E bill, what the utility bill looks like, what does the solar farm bill looks like, and the reason why people do it, because they're getting that discount every month for 25 years. When unified billing is here, it'll just be all on the BG&E and Pepco bill, so you won't have to worry about it.
Okay, and I think you answered this already. The credit card information is still being asked when register a new customer, any update. And I think you already said that was scheduled to be going away within a month. I know it was initially said July 1st. And remember that you have to pay your bill with a credit card or ACH, depending on where you are. And that's only to reserve your slot on the farm. It's first come, first serve. There are other people that have gotten to this first before us because we're, kind of procrastinating. And now there's limited access on the farm. It's just like reserving your slot in a restaurant or at a hotel so that you can get there first before the other ones do. So your card is not billed. You get to determine how you pay your bill. And you get that when you get the bill. By the time you get your bill in Maryland, you will have unified billing, and it would be that one Pepco or BGE bill that you would have to pay. Karen has her hand raised, but there was one more. Also, right now in Upper Marlboro, Maryland can only sign up if you are low income exclusive. It's all determined by the zip code that you have. That's because others have gotten there first and they have the last few slots that they want to reserve for low to moderate income people.
Yeah, and just a quick update on that. And I think Karen is probably like we should do a training because right now, just so you guys know, and it's not public yet, but we will have in Pepco, we will have a huge amount of inventory available as of July the 1st. So that'll be public. But so areas do fill up. I mean, we're just starting to see after 2 years, Maryland's building out a huge infrastructure, but it looks like we're going to be bringing on over 50,000 additional community solar units in Pepco, Maryland. And so, yes, as of today, Pepco only has low to moderate income. And for those of you who are guests on tonight, just want to be really clear. Each state has inventory, right? New Jersey is massive amounts of inventory, but it's just how many slots. Like because community solar it sells out and you have to wait until another farm opens because people want the savings. It's happened in New Jersey where they didn't have any for a month, and now some of the developers for the state have opened up huge amounts of inventory. But all over the country, we're going to see that there's availability, and so when there's slots on farms, get on there. You're on there for 20 years. It is worth the savings for 20 years. And so on all of the energy advisors that are on the call, when you talk to them, they just have to put your zip code in and they can tell you what's available to you so you can get signed up.
Yes.
Let me see.
Karen still has her hand raised. Is waiting for unified billing? Yes, we are. Karen, do you still have a question?
I do.
Okay.
So I kind of sell everywhere because I'm a real estate agent.
In what state? In Maryland? Or multiple
I'm in
states?
Maryland right now, but I talked to a client in Texas, and she wanted solar panels on her house. So I called the number at the bottom of the page to ask about, how that works with the solar panels on the house. And he told me that it's sent out to somebody else. It's clear that in Texas, they have to buy the credit before they get the credit on their bill, whether they have if they don't have the solar panels at all. She just went with the community solar farm versus if she puts the solar panels on her house through another company and then joins, she can get, better credits or something. And I just trying to.
Yeah, we don't offer community solar in Texas where it's retail energy in Texas. So Texas, right now we don't offer community solar in that market.
Okay, so you don't offer no community solar in Texas, Mark?
Texas.
Dallas.
We're a retail
Dallas.
energy provider in Texas.
Okay. So what about the solar panels?
So our solar panel pilot was in Connecticut, but I think Karen, it's probably worth you and I to have a call. I know you're an advisor, but let's have a call just so you can get trained on, because we have a product guide and everything that shows everything that we offer in every state.
Okay, yeah. Well, when you have time, I'm ready.
All right, perfect.
Okay, I think that is probably all of the questions that we had in the chat. So
perfect. So let's for everybody who joined, for all of our guests, thank you so much for joining. I want you to follow up with the person that invited you. If you have more questions, let's get those answered. And to our hosts, thank you so much. I know we're back. Those of you who know, on Tuesdays and Thursdays are our launch calls. We have launches for the next 4 Tuesdays and Thursdays. So even if it's not your launch, feel free to invite guests over. We will do this and we will share information we need to share, answer questions, and go from there. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Julius. We appreciate you. Ms. Alice, Ms. Beverly and Miss Claudia, thank you so much for hosting tonight. And I would like to thank everyone again for being a part of this presentation. Please get back to the person who invited you so we can follow up with you and get your questions answered if you have additional ones, or get you signed up as an EA or a customer. Thanks again, Julius. Good night, everyone. Be safe, and until the next time.